What's going on, everybody? UCF Jaguar back here with JinJag.com, and last Sunday the Jaguars went down to the Tennessee Titans by a score of 9-6, which dropped us to a 2-1 record and 0-1 in the AFC South. Now, I know I'm a few days past the actual game, and I did post a recap on Sunday, but I do like to rewatch the game film and kind of get better takeaways after I watch the game as a whole. You know, I told you guys I'm probably going to come out with these videos on Tuesdays, but it might be Wednesday. I don't know. Like, I'm working a lot more than I did last year, so these videos are just going to come as they can. So I know I'm a little late with this, but I don't have a set schedule, so be sure to, subscribe, hit the notification button so you know right when I drop a video. But yeah, I mean, the Jaguars, it wasn't a good game, man. It was a very, very sloppy game, especially from the offensive end. And, I'm not going to be all sunshine and rainbows with this one. I'm going to let you guys know exactly what I think went wrong and what we need to do to correct this. So without further ado, cue the intro.
Last name ever, first name greatest. Like a sprained ankle, boy, ain't nothing to play with. Started off local.
Now, the big thing that went down with our offense this game is that we never got any kind of rhythm going, and it was really just a full-out team effort that we lost. I mean, nobody really made a play. I mean, the quarterback was inaccurate. Some of the receivers were dropping balls, even running incorrect routes. We had different holding calls, like delay of games, like false starts. I mean, in this game, we needed something to make a play, and no one made it. And there was just a bunch of different things that kept causing us to get our drives to stop. Now, a big thing that's stopping our offense from actually going is the health of our tailbacks. Leonard Fournette is obviously out. I mean, he played one half against the Giants, pulled a hammy. We haven't seen him during the Patriots game or the Titans game. Also, TJ Yeldon is not fully healthy. You could see him at the game. He was limping a lot. He's really favoring that ankle or foot or whatever he has, and really kudos to him for going out there and really playing through an injury, because it's clear that he is hurt, and he's also out there doing some good things for us. So kudos to him. But with Leonard Fournette not playing, with TJ Yeldon not being at full strength, it hurts our run game, because Corey Grant, he's a guy that you want to get maybe 6, 7, 8 touches a game, but you don't want him to be a guy that's going to be running in between tackles, and that's what we had to do due to the health of our team. You want him to be in there where Leonard Fournette's in the game, but all of a sudden you slip Corey Grant out and he's able to run for, a bunch of yards. We don't have that anymore with the way our offense is, and, obviously our offense is built around the run game, and the health of our tailbacks is not very good right now. And there's also Bortles. Bortles was pretty inaccurate this game. I mean, he was missing a bunch of different throws. He wasn't reading the field very well. He had a bunch of balls batted at the line of scrimmage. And, it's a real letdown, because against the Patriots, this dude balled out. But this game, he didn't do so much. Now, I know a lot of blame does get shouldered on Blake Bortles, and, as it should be, a lot of blame goes on him. But like I said, it is not all on him. At the end of the day, with Blake Bortles, man, he's been inconsistent, and if you're going to be inconsistent, you're going to have to raise your floor, because you look at a guy or you look at Bortles when he's on his ceiling. Bortles, when he hits his ceiling, he is tremendous. He's electrifying. He is just tremendous. Him against the Patriots, that was him at his ceiling. But his floor can be pretty bad. But you look at it and, he needs to improve his floor, but this is one thing that he has done throughout his career, because, his floor used to be Mr. Pick Six. In his first 3 seasons with the Jaguars, he threw 11 pick sixes, which, he was on pace to break all kinds of NFL records when it comes to pick sixes. Also, in his first 3 seasons, he had 51 interceptions, and when you average that over the course of 2 seasons plus the 1 season that's kind of prorated where he basically played 13 games, 51 interceptions, that averages out to 1.13 interceptions per game. So now when you look at him right now, the pick sixes are no longer there. In his last 2 seasons, he's only thrown 1 pick six, so that's good. That's improved, and also his interception rate has gotten a lot better. When you date back to last year, include the 16-game regular season, 3 postseason games, and 3 regular season games in 2018, he has 15 interceptions, which is about 0.68 interceptions per game. So his interception rate for games has lowered by 45%. So that's good. And when you look at Bortles over the course of the last 11 games, which includes, of course, 2018, 2017 postseason, and regular season, of those 11 games, Bortles has only thrown interceptions in 4 of those games. So Bortles, he's cleaning up the interceptions. You know, he's not throwing interceptions at a rapid rate. He's no longer giving points to the other team's defense and getting all these pick sixes. So, you know, his floor has raised from, you know, throwing all these interceptions to now just being inaccurate. Just because last game, you know, he never threw the ball into any real big trouble. Like, there was no ball he thrown where it was like, that one should have been intercepted. But at the same time, you know, he was inaccurate. He missed some throws. He was also had some balls like bad at the line of scrimmage. You know, he's got to correct that. But, you know, he's, you know, whether you like Blake Bortles, whether you hate Blake Bortles, whatever, you're going to have to accept that he's going to be our starting quarterback for the rest of the season, you know? So, you know, we could have signed all these free agent quarterbacks. We could have traded for Bridgewater. We didn't do that. So, Bortles, we got to ride or die with him. And, you know, hopefully his consistency can get better. And I also want to kind of touch on our receivers a little bit. You know, our receivers, of course, they had a good game in week 2 against the Patriots, but, you know, last week they weren't really all there. You know, DJ Chark, he's really struggling, you know. With the Marquise Lee injury, he's having to step up. And, you know, when it comes to rookie wide receiver, it is a tough transition to the league. But, you know, this guy's drop passes, his, like, one reception, he wound up, like, fumbling. And, you know, he's having a hard time, but he does play pretty well in special teams, so, you know, that's good out of him, but hopefully he can continue to kind of step up. Keelan Cole, it was a sloppy game by him, some drop passes. He had one route that he ran really bad on an out route that wound up looking like a really bad throw by Bortles, but it was just a bad route run by him. He's got to be better. Get better on your route running. Catch the balls that are given to you. If it hits you in the hands, man, make a play and do it. That's what we were missing, you know, not making plays. And, you know, with a guy like Moncrief, he just hasn't really showed up, man. Like, we gave him a good amount of money. He's got to step up and be the veteran. He hasn't really done that. You know, he had some penalties this game, so, man, we've got to have him step up. But overall, like, offensive line played better than I thought it really did when I was watching the game actually live. You know, they were protecting Bortles somewhat decently, getting some decent holes, but, you know, at the same time, right in crunch time when it really mattered, at that last drive, Bortles kept getting hit. You know, really at the end of the game, Bortles is getting hit a lot. So, you know, got to protect the quarterback, got to play better along that front, but, you know, this one really isn't necessarily on the offensive line. You know, it's a lot on the quarterback play, and it's a lot on the wide receivers. Now, a big difference maker this game was when Blaine Gabbert got injured. Because when the Jaguars play teams, we are best when we play pocket quarterbacks, you know. Tom Brady, we were disrupting him. Eli Manning, we were disrupting him. Blaine Gabbert, when he was in there, he was totally uncomfortable. We were hitting him and all that kind of stuff, and it was just a recipe for disaster. But then Marcus Mariota comes in there. He's a lot better of a quarterback. He picked up 50 yards on the ground, and 50 yards may not be that much, but when you're in a game that's 9-6 in a game of field goals, that's huge, and especially when Marcus Mariota was able to pick up all those third downs on the ground. So that was a key in this game. And also, I thought another key was the whole fake punt. The fake punt, when I rewatched it on the film, it was way worse on the film than it was live, just because, first of all, Corey Grant is not usually on there on punt team. It's usually Herndon in there. All of a sudden, Corey Grant goes in for Herndon, and before the play, all the Tennessee Titans players are pointing at Corey Grant. And it's a 4th and 4. The next thing you know, Corey Grant goes in motion. What are they going to do? They're just looking at Corey Grant. He gets the ball in a little handoff, and obviously they don't convert. It was just, I don't know what they were thinking. You know, they weren't fooling anybody. It wasn't like last year where Corey Grant was usually at that same spot and they direct snap to him and he runs up the middle. It was completely different. They completely changed things up, and it was super, super obvious. And, you know, you do fake punts when you're in games that are shootouts, when you're putting up a lot of points and you're trying to steal possessions. Not in a game that's 9-6. Let your defense play. Let your defense, you know, pin them back, because you know the Tennessee Titans aren't going to be moving the ball on you. You know they're not going to be getting in the, you know, in the end zone. Just hold him to, you know, behind the field goal territory and play some defense. And it was just bad. I mean, that fake punt was really bad. Now, I thought guys like Malik Jackson played well. Calais Campbell played well. I wasn't really a fan of the play of, like, A.J. Boye. A.J. Boye, I thought, was getting, like, picked on this game. You know, he didn't have his best game. And it's kind of interesting with the defense, just because, you know, we have that 11th spot, you know, whether it be the Sam linebacker, box safety. You had the nickel cornerback. We're doing it a lot different than we did last year. You know, last year was either Puz in there or it was Aaron Colvin. Now we have 3 different players subbing in there. We have Tyler Patman, who played 55% of snaps at the nickel cornerback spot. We also had Ronnie Harrison play 27% of snaps at a box safety kind of role. And we had Leon Jacobs play 18% of snaps at the strong side linebacker spot. Really interesting way to play it, and it's also pretty exciting. Now with the defense, man, you really can't put this game on a defense. You know, I'm not going to be super critical of the defense because they held them to 9 points. But if I were to be critical, man, they weren't able to stop Marcus Mariota on the ground. You know, on that final possession, they didn't stop them when they absolutely needed to stop them. You know, they didn't hold them for a 3-and-out. You would have liked them to see them do that. And, you know, what stinks about this defense, man, is like last year, I just felt like, you know, we don't have the same swagger almost. I don't know if this is like an overreaction, but, you know, last year we remember them getting all these, you know, interceptions, Saxonville. You know, we were getting all these like turnovers. It just hasn't really been there yet. All the big plays, all the turnovers haven't been there, and it just seems like this team isn't playing with as much, like this defense isn't playing with as much swagger. Now, I don't know if that's like an overreaction or what, but, you know, that's just what I've been noticing, man. I mean, we didn't have any takeaways this game. Now, granted, the one takeaway we did have was overturned, you know, after Malik Jackson sacked Gabbert. You know, it was the right call on a really crappy rule, and, you know, it's a shame that's going to be affecting a lot of teams around the league, and it definitely affected us this game as we would have had the ball in at least like field goal territory. But, you know, obviously you can't redo the past, so what happened in the past happened in the past. Now, you know, the Jaguars dropped to 2-1. Not a bad record. I mean, it's not overreaction time. Our offense didn't play very well, but, you know, both of our running backs are dinged up. You know, they're a huge part of their offense. Need to get Fournette back. You know, I'll touch more on him in my preview video, but, man, we need him. We need him to be back, man. Hopefully, it sucks that I knew right when we got that soft tissue hamstring injury that it was going to be rough, and, you know, it kind of has been, especially during the Titans game where we really could have used him. But, you know, we're 2-1 right now. We have the Jets coming up. It's a game on paper that we should win. I'm not going to count us to win the game until we actually do it, but it'll be a big game. If we win that one, we go on to 3-1. If you take the season by corners, if you go 3-1 every quarter, you finish with a 12-4 record, and 12-4 generally gets you home field advantage in the playoffs. So still plenty of the season to go along. Offense still has a lot of improvement. You can see what the offense could do on a good day against the Patriots, but you also saw a week later what they can do a bad game against the Titans. So sucks that we dropped this one to the Titans, but hopefully we can get some revenge. Hopefully we can still win this AFC South, just like we did last year when we lost to the Titans in week 2. So yeah, that's my video. Thank you guys all for watching, and I'll catch you guys in my next preview video. Shout out to Jaguar Jig for the shirts. Really appreciate that, man. Follow him on Instagram down below, and I'll catch you guys next time.